Santiago Castro, 21 years of age, born in San Martin, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Castro started his career at Villa Sarsfield, scoring 8 goals in 61 games. Castro signed for Bologna in 2024 for €13 million. In his first season, Castro played 36 games, scoring a total of 10 goals, 8 in Serie A with 5 assists, with a full total of 10 goals, 8 assists across all competitions. The highlights of his first season are Champions League minutes and winning Bologna's first major trophy since 1974, the Coppa Italia. Currently this season, Castro has 4 goals and 1 assist in Serie A. Finally, Castro has played at youth level with Argentina at under 16s, under 20s and under 23. Let's scout Castro. Welcome back to Up the Villa. On today's episode, we are going to be scouting Santiago Castro from Bologna, a player for me that I think is absolutely incredible, with so much room to grow and be nurtured and be coached. And I think he's one of those players where, remember the name, he's going to pop up. Hopefully he pops up at Aston Villa. So we've done a little bit of a scouting episode earlier on in the week, looking at strikers. We saw Premier League, we saw European, but Castro wasn't on the list, but he was on my list. He's on my mind. 21 years of age with a market value of €60 million. Main attributes: touch, control, hold-up play, awareness, flair, a creative brain on the football pitch, a drive and an aggression. He's got a little bit of that flair that you'd expect from a South American player. He's got a little bit of bite and aggression in him. And I just really like him. I saw him at Villa Park and I thought his movement was good at Villa Park. So we're going to scout him. We're going to take a look at his main attributes. We're going to have a look at everything that I really like from him. We're going to see how he could potentially merge into the Aston Villa team. He is a striker, but what we're going to see is that he can play with a striker. So let's just get straight on in there and let's have a look at all of his main attributes, what make him a really good young up-and-coming. I'm going to say he's a wonder kid because he is. He's only 21. So, and he's got a maturity about his game as well, leading the line at Bologna in Serie A as well. Right, so let's take a look then. So we can see here that he's received the ball. He gets the ball out of his feet, strikes the ball from distance into the top corner. Long shots, striking the ball is something that he's incredible at doing, but also knowing when is the right time to be able to do that. We can see here now that the ball is coming into him. We can see that they've got a front four. So we can also see that he's playing alongside a striker as well. The ball comes into him. Nice little flick on for the striker. And then we're able to go and head towards goal. But we can see that the awareness, the ball coming in, he knows that he can play this little flick, plays that flick, and it's just executed to perfection. And we're driving on in goal. But also what I like about him, and one of my big things when I analyse and look at strikers is, are they doing just the basics? Are they just waiting for the ball to come to them? Or do they go towards the ball? And I think that's a really important trait within a striker, knowing when to hold up and back yourself against the defender. Or do you just go forward a little bit and go into a central area and pick up the ball? And this is one of Castro's biggest strengths, the ability to hold up the ball. So we can see here now that the ball is going into Castro. He's got number 99 that he's sort of like tussling with. We've got low center of gravity and we're able to hold on to the ball. We're able to roll number 99. Now we can see that a defender now is going towards Castro. He's going and he's going to be aggressive. He needs to win this ball. He's already seen his teammates lose the ball against Castro, but Castro takes a touch and then he gets it out of his feet And then he does number 13. Now he's opened up space and he's got a decision to make. Can he play in another player or can he take his shot? And that was just brilliant from Castro to roll, ride, drive, absolutely class. Now here we can see that Castro is up against a centre half. So we touch tight because we know that the defender is trying to keep him at arm's distance. Castro takes his touch, takes it away from the central defender. And then again, we're at that where we saw the first screen grab. We've got the ability to strike or we've got the ability to play in. So again, we take the shot and it's palmed over by the keeper. So we've already seen quite a little bit about what he's about. You know, tight areas with defenders, 1v1s, little touches. Brilliant. Now, here we can see the ball has gone into Castro in the 18-yard box. And this is, for me, is all about decision-making and it's all about the touch. As a striker, you've got to have a touch. Your first touch as a striker sets up your next action. So if you receive the ball here now and you fumble it, the chance is gone. But Castro has got such a good technique that he takes his touch, but watch now how he opens his body. By opening his body, it allows him to sort of create what he wants to create because he's the player that's fully in control. So he opens up his body. But what I like about here is that he doesn't rush. And I've spoke about this before. When strikers are in front of goal, you want time to slow down. You do not want it to speed up because if it speeds up, it's erratic and it can get a hold of what you're trying to do. So here now, we look at the edge of the box and we think, okay, you would lay it off, wouldn't you? You would lay it off and you would just let this midfielder take his shot. But he doesn't. He takes more and more touches, bides his time, takes this little flick now on the outside of the foot to this player here now. And I think what you could do is look at Castro's stats and go, they're all right. They're not groundbreaking. But what you got to look at is the amount of chances that his teammates actually miss when he puts it on a plate. Now, he's absolutely done all the hard work. He's created an opportunity for a teammate, created space for a teammate, and we've absolutely smashed it over the bar. So you can look at this and go, that should be a well-worked assist, but it's not because his teammates let him down. Here now, again, the ball has come into him inside the 18-yard box. And what do we need here now? We need a great first touch. His first touch can create the next action. Great first touch, comes into him, fully in control. Now, he gets it out of his feet, creates the opening, opens up his body, and rifles it, or not rifles, he sort of like finesse curls with a bit of power into the bottom corner. But again, touch, he waited. This is what I like. So the touch comes into him. He then waits, gets it out of his feet, and then puts it into the bottom corner. What a strike this is. Brilliant. Again here now, complete awareness, packed out in the edge of the box against Juventus in the Champions League, and we then get a strike off, and I think this hits the post and goes wide. But again, the awareness to know what's around him, to chest it, and then set up a teammate. But again, it's a difficult chance this is, but I think it's well worked from Castro. And again, here now, we've got him on that left-hand side. 1v1, what can we create? We can see at the top of the screen, there's a player now that's going to be driving forward into space. Can we find him? We've got touch control, always in control. And then we're able to play that crossfield ball to a teammate who is now tearing down on his goal. Again, look at this player now being really aggressive against Castro, but he's able to use his first touch to get away and then we're able to play another beautiful cross-field ball. Again, a hold-up play, ball into him, waiting and looking for that centre back. He's touching him, he's tight to him, he wants to feel and he wants to ride this centre back. He's able to get the ball, comes into him, hold the play. The centre back's all over him, challenging for the ball, but no bother. We're able to twist and turn and be free. We've got another central midfielder now that's come to get the ball off him, and he's able to just lay it off. So really strong hold-up play, which I think is really important. Again, here now we're on the counter. We get in front of this defender and we skip away, but we are brought down. Now, this is what I really like as well. This has got kind of like technical Isak vibes when Isak goes out wide. So we're now being held up again by a centre-back, but we're able to roll, drive, and we're able to now spin and turn and then lay off, but the player, again, fires over. So, but I love this work here. I just love how physical he can get and how he can just ride these challenges. And I think it's really important. Again, another one, ball comes into him. We're able to twist, roll, ride, and drive further forward. And you can see teammates now are starting to join that attack as well. The vision, the awareness is there to play balls in behind as well to a teammate. Brilliant. And then this one, I love this one. There's a cross that comes in and he just absolutely volleys it into the top corner. What a strike this is. And then we come up against Aston Villa. And I remember doing the episode talking about Castro and saying how good he was. But we can see here, ball comes in, header, gets the header and crashes it across onto the top of the bar. So there's some analysis on Castro, some scouting of what he's all about. And a lot of you regular viewers that watch me know the type of strikers that I like. I love the technical, techie strikers. Remember in the summer when I scouted Walter Marday and look at how well he's done in the Premier League to start off with. So I actually feel like when I'm looking at players and I'm analysing specific players, I actually feel like strikers are the ones that I'm probably the best at analysing, because I can just see their technique and I can see them within the Premier League. And I look at Castro and I think, can you play in the Premier League? Well, you're up against these tough defenders in Serie A, but you're able to hold up, roll off and drive forward. Your hold up play is brilliant. And, I've spoke about what I think this Aston Villa team needs. And I think we now need a striker to either complement or play alongside Watkins that can be a little bit more physical and technical at the edge of the box. I think that's really important for me now, that the way in which we go with our next striker, I think, has got to have that element of being able to keep the ball on the edge of the box, to be quite tenacious and technical and have that little bit of flair and aggression. Because I think when I look at Watkins, I think his best traits are being able to run in behind, run against the channel. But I actually feel like at times now, when you're coming up against a low block or a mid block, you kind of need that player that can guarantee to hold the ball, that can then drop deep and allow players to run off. So a lot of those images that I've shown you have actually got another striker in shot. And we know that Emery has wanted to play with two strikers at times. So I could actually see Castro and Watkins working together, because what I think it would allow us to do is it would allow us to stretch with Watkins. Watkins can always be that stretcher that can run in behind, that can offer that massive threat. But I actually feel like Castro in this area, being that physical player, being that player that can come off a centre back, and then you can get a runner in behind, because he can drop deep, drag a player with him, and then you can get those runners that can run off him at the same time. I think there's a real element of him being able to play with another striker, which is really important, because we just don't want to be one-dimensional. We want to have a striker that can offer something different. And at 21 years of age, again, would he be a player that plays every week. Well, the fee would suggest that he probably would, but I've been looking at Emery strikers and who he's been able to have over the years, and I'm looking at Cavani and his goals that he scored in 2 seasons and his assists were absolutely brilliant. So I think Emery could get his hands on another striker, and I think we need a striker that can play and have a longevity. You know, Watkins he's 29, so you know in his career he's got a good few years left in him. But Villa need a player that can come through and grow and be the next Ollie Watkins with longevity. You know, Watkins is Aston Villa's leading goal scorer. So I think it's important that we start to look at this striker situation. And for me, Castro is absolutely that guy. So, you know, you can get these runners that run off him and link up, etc. But the big thing about Castro is that he is versatile. So he can play left, right, or as a striker. So that would really suit Unai Emery. We can see so far that this is his heat map this season. So left-hand side, right-hand side, but, you know, a good central spot in the 18-yard box, which I think would be very, very important to have that focal point in the team. So top player, someone that I would be all over Aston Villa signing. But the important thing to note about all of this is that he has got suitors. He has got 2 suitors so far that are popping up online. And when we're looking at who is after him, the teams that are after him are Inter Milan and Chelsea. So some of the little rumours you've got here: Bologna want 50 million from Chelsea or Inter Milan. 70 million. Chelsea plot 70 million move for record-breaking striker. So for me, I'm all in on him. I'm all in on him. He's way better than all of those strikers that I did on that scouting series. Another striker that I do like is Strand Larsen, but again, I think the South American Argentinian player has just got that little bit more in him inside. His DNA, I like his DNA, and I think if we can get Agent Martinez, Agent Buendia on the blower that can have a word, we're a perfect spot for him. I think we're a perfect spot for him. Like I say, I like Strand Larsen, but I think we're going to need to see a little bit more this season. What can he do with a bit more stability with a brand new manager? But I do like him. He's got Premier League experience. His hold-up play is good, but he's not Castro. He's not 21. He's not got so much room to grow in the way that Castro has. So hopefully you guys have liked this little episode, something different. I've brought to you a player that I really like. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on any players that you would like Aston Villa to sign, and maybe I can have a look at them and scout them and etc. So get involved. Let me know. Up the Villa.